All right, welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. This is episode number 88. Excuse me while I quickly put this on Do Not Disturb. I was trying to do it covertly, but I could hear the clicking noises and my eyes were darting, so I'm sure people knew. But now we are unencumbered.
You can't get anything by me, Davy.
Yeah, you can't cumber, Heather. That's impossible. So now that all the cards are on the table, this is episode number 88 of Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I'm that other dude who can't pull a fast one on Heather, Andrew. And I'm joined as always by Heather, who lends her name to the show, and so much more.
Hello.
And hello. Yes, I always cut you off while you're saying hello. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
And today we're going to be talking about a band called Lord Velvet, who this was my turn in the rotation. And that's all it took was just seeing the name Lord Velvet. And I was like, oh, well, we clearly have to listen to this band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think their album that we'll be discussing, Astral Lady. Well, first, let me say they're from Denver, Colorado, and their album is titled Astral Lady. And I first saw a post about them from Weedian, who runs a really wonderful channel featuring music on X, or the artist formerly known as Twitter. And really, it could have been, pan flute on a loop, and I would have been like, "We're going to talk about Lord Velvet." So, fortunately for me, they turned out to be really good music. But yeah, originally, let's get to you because you have some ideas to discuss for the music, and then we can wax philosophical about their names some more.
Yeah, and the good thing is Weedian listens to the same kind of music we do, so you pretty much know if Weedian recommends it, it's probably going to be pretty good. And there's also a YouTube channel with tons of like full albums that that are on there, which is pretty awesome too. But getting back to Lord Velvet, their record was released on September 1st, so fairly new out there. My first thought was, wow, the vocals are amazing, and then the low fuzzy guitars, and there's like this awesome mix of clean and distortion. At times it sounds like old school doom with a nod, you know, back to the great, traditional doom album, bands and albums back in the day, and they had like a nod towards them. And they pick it up and they move it forward, in a very unique way. Very fun. I thought this album was really fun to listen to. The album, it's not a long album. It's under 30 minutes. It has 5 songs. I thought it was a great debut album for this band, and there's a lot of room to expand. The unique sounds that they have. They have a ton of room just to really expand on that, which makes me really look forward to what they might be coming up with in the future. I encourage you to follow them on social media because their posts are very fun and entertaining, especially if you like wrestling. There's some really fun posts on there. So I just have to say, like, Andrew, I think this was a good pick, definitely.
Good.
I really liked it. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I again, the name alone, Lord Velvet. I almost said Velvet Jones. That's what it reminded me of, was Velvet Jones, the Saturday Night Live skit with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
The most famous of them is where he writes a book about how you too can be a hoe, the Velvet Jones School of Technology. And you can send away for his book, I Want to Be a Hoe. And if you're not completely satisfied, you could send the book back for a full refund. But Anyway, so once I heard Lord Velvet, I was like, I'm hooked. And then I said, you know what? We're going to roll the dice, see if the music is good. And it turned out to be really good. Um, the one of the interesting Bandcamp reviews I read suggested it was a sonic tapestry of words and music that both lull the mind and drive. Well, I'm sorry, that both lull and drive the mind simultaneously. Now, I would give credit. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Yes, I would give credit to whomever said that, but the it was just attributed to two squares. So I'm thinking maybe they put up an emoji that didn't translate. So I'm simply going to refer to them as two squares. And thank you. But yes, Weedian also suggested them, and that's a slam dunk. Um, and as Heather mentioned, it's only 5 tracks on the album, but each one is really kick-ass in a lot of different ways. The first track is called "Lament of Low," which I thought would be the perfect song at the end. Like like if an episode of The Sopranos ends and someone gets shot, and then it turns to black, this would be the song that could play. Recently, Justified has come back. A new season of a new. It's like a prequel, I think, or a sequel or something. There's a 10-year gap. My father's been watching it, and there have been moments where the show ends, and as the credits go, there's a really cool song that'll play. So I was like, well, this should be one of those songs. So if you're a showrunner out there and you write for a television program and you're looking for a kick-ass song to put on the closing credits, I would check out the first track from Lord Velvet. And you had mentioned also the vocals. The vocalist reminded me of the lead singer of a band called Solace from back in the day. He just went by the name Jason. I don't know what his surname is, but the vocal delivery reminded me of that. And there's really like, I don't know, 5 or 6 vocalists that I can hear and know who they are immediately because they have a unique sound. I would add the lead singer of Lord Velvet to that list. It's real, like you're just not going to hear anything like it in terms of his delivery. So definitely worth checking out. And then they have a track called "From the Deep," which I thought was the most Doom reminiscent. A lot of them are faster paced. Snakebite Fever, for example, and Black Beam of Gemini. They have some great track names too, but those two are a little bit faster. So if you're into more of the stoner rock, you're going to get that too. And as Heather mentioned, this is their debut album, so I am also excited about what they're going to deliver because I feel like they are another contemporary band who's taken the torch from the great classic stoner rock bands of the 70s, and there's just a lot of room to maneuver. So, yeah, it's a nice mix of stoner, psychedelic, and heavy psych. And I did realize the irony that I recommended a heavy psych band.
I would say they're more on the doom. For me, they're more on the doom side.
They're not heavy psych from the Heather school of heavy psych. But they definitely, there's a little bit of overlap. Not a lot, but a little.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say go pick up Astral Lady from Lord Velvet, a band out of Denver, Colorado. And if you like any of the things we've mentioned, you're going to like this album.
Yeah.
I also thought this is a great album to share with most, some of the albums we discuss, you really sort of have to like the genre to like the music. I personally have found that sometimes sludge can be a little too inaccessible for people who don't listen to the genre often. But this album, I think you could play for anyone, and they would just find it to be good music. So if you're looking to hook a friend on a gateway album, then this would be a good one to use.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And
yeah, because it kind of does mix some of the hard rock, heavy metal, from the set, like the 60s, 70s and up. It kind of mixes some of that hard rock and heavy metal in with some of the more modern doom. It is a nice mixture.
yeah, there is definitely like you can definitely hear some elements of some of the more melodic doom bands, like a Witchfinder General, for example, or Trouble. Um, so yeah, it doesn't. It's not the heavy psych that we've listened to the last few months, and it's not quite stoner. It's not quite doom, but it is a combination of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a Venn diagram that I can endorse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and yes, originally the name Lord Velvet hooked me, and I imagined that Lord Velvet would live in a castle that was just like flowing tapestries and whatnot, and he would just have like parties at night. Like there'd be a lute player, and there'd be a harpist, and they would just be drinking fine wines all night. There'd
Does he have
probably
a Does he have a velvet suit?
oh, of course,
Yeah.
he's just ensconced in velvet,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yes, Lord Velvet, and then the evil Prince Rayon will be trying to tell, or the evil Prince Rayon and Duke Corduroy will be trying to overthrow Lord Velvet, but they can't touch Lord Velvet.
Mm-mm.
He is
No.
untouchable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds like a
so
good time.
I mean, I would probably be the jester at Lord Velvet's soiree, and just I'd probably be wearing this hat, but the hat would have those little balls on the end, the jester's hat,
Yeah.
and he'd be like, "Fool, come make me laugh," and I would be like, "Okay, have you heard about Velvet Jones, Lord Velvet?"
Oh, Velvet Jones, have you heard of Velvet Jones workout cassette tape?
Yes, Lord Velvet. If thine would be interested in earning some extra income from the comfort of thine own bed, then look no further to I Want to Be a Hoe by Velvet Jones. And, sir, if you're not intrigued, you get a full refund.
And to accompany that book, you get a workout cassette that
A,
shows
work,
you all the moves that you need.
a workout cassette, sire. And if you understand any of these words that are coming out of my mouth, I will be surprised. But yes. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've wanted to open like a speakeasy. There was a period of time where my brother wanted to be a winemaker, so we talked about him making the wine, and we would open a speakeasy. And I feel like now I would want to call the place Lord Velvet's.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you
that
going
would
to
be
do
awesome.
tonight? Oh, we're going to go to Lord Velvet's.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be sweet.
yeah, that would be sweet.
Well, in the meantime, we can simulate Lord Velvet's by listening to Lord Velvet, dimming the lights, maybe putting on the essential oil diffuser. That would do
Yeah,
it. Yes,
sounds great.
it does. It does. In fact, I'll probably do that later tonight.
Yeah. What kind of blend do you have in there now?
I have a lavender lemongrass.
Yeah,
Lavender lemongrass. That's what I've chosen.
yeah.
So again, I'm going to bring this up because I bring it up weekly. What other music review show are you going to see that will mention Velvet Jones, essential oil blends, and the underground?
Yeah,
I defy you to
yeah.
to 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 hit me up in the DM. Let me know if you're worried about putting your name on it. Send it anonymously. I'm excited.
Yeah.
About a month or two ago, I made a similar offer in which I said I would eat my fedora, and no one took me up on that.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, I shan't be eating this fedora. How else am I going to entertain Lord Velvet unless I'm rocking the old fedora that I bought in 1987 to complete my Freddy Krueger Halloween outfit when I was 9 years old,
Yeah.
and I still have it. So
Yeah.
this hat is 26 years old. No, more than that. This hat is 36 years old.
Wow.
Can I do the math? Yes. Yes, it's 36 years old.
Wow. I don't think I have, I don't, yeah, see, that's the thing. I never kept any of my stuff, so I don't have anything,
Well,
of
one of
that.
my godmother's ex-husband, who is probably retired by now, but used to be a teacher, he once said, "You never get rid of your props."
Yeah.
And I think I probably took that to heart. And I know my mother gets really sentimental about these sorts of things, so she probably wouldn't let me throw this out,
Yeah.
even if I had, I don't want to because I like the look, but even if I had wanted to, I still have my Bob Ross painting set from when I was like 12, and I wanted to throw that out. I was like, I'm never going to use this, and my mother said, no, 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 we have to keep this. So
Yeah. That's good advice.
yeah, well, now I'm grateful because I have a Bob Ross painting set.
Yeah.
Should I decide to paint a happy little tree, then
Yeah.
we will see.
Yeah.
All right, well, Heather, this has been a treat as always, and I'm glad we've brought hopefully some new listeners to Lord Velvet.
Yeah. I hope
So
so. Yeah, definitely check him out.
check out Lord Velvet, and then
Yeah.
next week we'll be back. We're back every Sunday,
Yeah.
and next Sunday is Heather's choice in the rotation.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear what you have from my ears, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.